Om Nilambuja Shyamal Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side, carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. In Ayodhya Kanda of Shri Ramcharitmanas, verse number is 181. The context of this storyline is Bharata has been told, it's a royal assembly where all have gathered, and they have, along with Vasishtha and all great personalities, and all the mothers. And Bharata has been told that he must accept the coronation, become the ruler, and that was the will of the father. And for obeying his father, Rama went into the forest along with Lakshmana and Sita. And Bharata listened to all that graciously and gave thanks for all the good ideas and good advice given to him. But now he is speaking out his heart. Behind all this episode, you must understand, the subtle point is to what you are being given insight into bhakti, devotion to God. Devotion to God is a heart-based movement, and it should not be influenced by the heart of others. At the same time, it should not disrespect the heart of others. So, that's called being growing up. How to follow your heart. And of course, heart relates to, if your heart is purified, following your heart is allowing your soul to be blended, to be united, or to have the revelation, I am that, I am Brahman. A reflected sun is nothing but the sun. That subtle insight, if reflected sun has developed, the love for the sun. So, the idea of staying distant from the sun becomes extremely painful. Pain here is allegorical term. And it must develop eagerness. And you shouldn't listen to the voices of other reflected suns. They don't want to get out of the pot. On the other hand, there are different levels. Listen to their words and understand even they want to have the same goal. But they are not able to verbalize it. So Bharata gives a special tongue to all of them. But in the beginning, appearing like giving an opposing view. You can figure that out gradually. राम मातु सुठि सरल चित मो पर प्रेम विषेखी कहि सुभाय स्नेह बस मोरी दीनता देखी. The mother of Sri Rama, Bharata, is saying, is pure-hearted personality, and she has a special love for me. Seeing me in this miserable condition, out of her affection, she wants me to become the king. When a baby is told, baby has a challenging project before, and baby is looking back, up and down, doesn't know what to do at this first stage. The mother, out of compassion, says, don't do it. But the baby does it and delights the mother. Did the baby disobey the mother? Did the mother really ask the baby not to do it? Figure that out. Mother simply said, because of her affection, that the baby is feeling great stress in doing the project. But when the baby did it, both are delighted. So that's what's happening with Bharata. So let's follow the Ramayana as is. Guru Vivek Sagar Jag Jagujana Yinai Vishwakara Badar Samana. Guru Vasishtha is the ocean of wisdom. The entire world knows this. For him, the entire universe is just a little plum fruit on the palm of the hand. Badar Samana. Badar in the word relates to bear fruit. Shabari's bear comes with the same plum fruit. And why I'm emphasizing the word Badar? Because that has gone into, that bear fruit or Badar has gone into Badri, Badrinath, Badri Kedar. First point to understand that Bharata is referring to Vasishtha as the climax of spiritual movement, jnana. But the jnana level views the entire universe as Maya. Snake on the rope. I'm not a real snake. That's not so poetic, but put it palm fruit, plum fruit on the palm of the hand. Same thing told in a little more delightful way. With palm fruit, with plum fruit, you are given another understanding. The whole world is full of delight. What causes delight in the world? God's presence. When you have come to that experience, then the world is not heavy on your head. The world becomes something very graceful. Palm of your hand. And the world will not trap you. You will not be drawn into the world process. But you will utilize the world process for your spiritual evolution and for inspiring all people who are in the state of bondage to turn to God. So the same world becomes a source of inspiration and a delicious spiritual taste. Mo kaha tilak saj saj saso bhai vidhi vimukh vimukh sabuko. And even he is asking me to accept coronation and be the king of Ayodhya. How unfortunate. Even Brahma, at times, Brahma's order, Brahma's law is always viewed as perfect precision. But allegorical language, even Brahma becomes opposed to one's expectation. Expectation designed by pure mathematics. I'm joking, but even Brahma's world seems to be frustrating in its purpose. Brahma's world has always perfect purpose. But this is called Vyanga, statement made to arouse the hidden sentiments in others. The hidden sentiments in others are, they all want to see Rama. They all want Rama to be the king. That's their hidden sentiment, but they are unable to express it. They are offering Bharata to be the king because of their helplessness, not because they view this as absolute reality, that Bharata has the right to rule. They don't have that. Even though their words do not express it. So you have to figure that out. Sometimes words are not to be taken literally, what people say. You have to smell into it. What's the heart level of this person who is saying these words? If you obey the words, your friendship will not last long. But if you follow the heart of the person, now your friendship, nothing can break, because now you are getting friends with the deeper source of a person. These are certain teachings for living a life of harmony and peace. Otherwise, people just go on quoting what others have said, words. Words slip out of the tongue, and people go on quoting those words again and again. But what was behind the words that were spoken, that is a greater reality. So all these people spoke words to make Bharata sit on the throne. But their heart was not really there. Now what their heart has, Bharata is shouting it out. Parihari sam siya jagamahi, ko na kahi mor mat nahi. In being king of Ayodhya, Bharata is saying, people will say that it was Bharata's desire to be the ruler of Ayodhya. Or Bharata was somehow involved in this project of conspiracy with Kaikeyi, the mother. People will say, gossips will be always there. But let it be so. Even the whole world may not understand me, except Rama and Sita. They will never say that it was my desire to become the king, and it was my plot to be the king of Ayodhya. This statement has profounder meaning. Profounder meaning means when philosophers study soul, different schools of philosophy speak in different ways. Many countless opinions. Soul will be happy if it had good karma, so next birth will go into a better family. And so the soul will do your sadhana ceremony with that idea. All different people have different views of what is good for the soul. And the view that soul is driven to misery because of ignorance. And therefore, in other words, the soul is tainted by impurity. But Rama does not hold that view. The sun does not hold the view that the reflections have designed their limitation and they like to be in that state. In other words, in the light of truth, every soul is Brahman. If you have that light of truth, jnana drishti, enlightened vision, then all souls are nothing but Brahman himself. The question of Brahman separating himself from any soul, that will not arise. The sun did not design the separation. Being separated from so many reflected suns. This separation is viewed by conditioned mind, not enlightened mind. Put it more in a different way. The whole world may not understand you, but movement towards Rama, God, you have no problem there. God is antaryami. He knows every bit about you. And what you don't know about yourself, he knows. So मैं सुनब सहब सुखमानी अंतहूं कीचित तहाँ जहाँ पानी. And so therefore, all different views that have been presented to me, I will listen joyously. Because all their views are superficial. And he gives a simple village simile. You are very thirsty. Old style. And you find a river or a lake or a pond, and you just go into it and start drinking. But at the same time, you are aware that below that water, there is mud, filth. But the filth does not discourage you from drinking the water. When people give advice, if it is good advice, it's what? What is behind the good advice? Don't worry about it. डरू न मोहि जग कहीं की पोचू परलोक कहूं कर नाहि न सोचू. I have no concern that the world will call me evil. And I'm not afraid of losing celestial bliss in heaven, Swarga. My only concern is, that concern is like blazing fire in a forest, that I have caused separation. I have caused, in storyline, I have caused Rama and Sita to go at a distance, far away. Implication is, the only thing my concern is that I am separated from God. And that's the description of mumukshutva, burning aspiration for God realization in a devotional language. Jeevan lahu lakhan bhal pava, sab taji Ram charan manu lava. Lakshmana is blessed that he is with Rama. He has attained the real fulfillment of the purpose of life. Renouncing all, he has followed the footsteps of Rama. And I happen to cause Rama's moving into forest. I, unfortunate, unlucky one, continue to regret, and all my regrets seem to be of no use. This is all mumukshutva, burning aspiration described in different ways. आन उपाऊ मोहि नहीं सूझा को जिए कै रघुबर बिनु बूझा. This fire that is burning in my heart, I find no other method, means to extinguish it. And the only means by which it can be extinguished, that's what he is trying to bring out. एक ही आंख हई मन माही प्रात काल बलि हूं प्रभु पाही. The only thing that is within my heart, the only resolve, nishchaya, the firm view that the very morning, this whole thing was going on in the evening time, night time. Early in the morning, first thing, I will go to Rama. People say, oh, this happened in Treta Yuga, millions of years ago. The message is, every morning, that Rama, Bharata's resolve to ring within your heart. Your central purpose is to be united with Rama. All the jobs you do, all the things that you do, they are part of the central purpose behind all that you do is ultimately to be united with Rama. United with Rama is to attain revelation. Aham Brahmasmi. I am, not the body mind, I am the absolute self. And that type of sankalpa should come into your mind very early morning. And that will make your day. यद्यपि मैं अनभल अपराधी, भय मोहि कारण सकल उपाधि. Though I am very evil, full of defaults, and I have caused a lot of problems, upadrav, terrible situations are called upadrav. I have caused terrible things. तदपि शरण मुख सन मुख मोहि देखी, क्षमि सब करहि कृपाभिषेकी. In spite of all this, if I seek Sharana of Rama, if I surrender myself to Rama, Sharana and surrender, try to figure that out. Rama will forgive all my sins. That statement has been highlighted in many scriptures. Sakrideva parpannaya tavasmiti se yachate abhayam sarvabhuteshu dadamye tat vratam mama. If a person were to turn to God and say, I have taken refuge in you, here in the storyline, if anyone who says Rama is expressing his view, when Vibhishana wanted to come to Rama and people were asking, telling him that he is after all brother of Ravana, but Rama simply heard one statement that Vibhishana wanted to take refuge in him. And Rama highlights it, that this is my Bharata, this is my vow. If anyone were to say that he or she is surrendering to me, I will never ignore the person. I will accept. I will protect the person from all types of danger, no matter who the person is, without going into the details of the identity. No identity card needed, and no story. But that's the profound reality of spiritual movement. Once you realize you are not the body-mind, and you begin to develop a lifestyle that brings your egoism to a waning movement, gradually thinning out, until pure shining ego does not hide the truth. Through that pure crystal-like ego you realize, I am Brahman. So, taking refuge in God, coming before God, once you happen to do so, then all the negative things that you have stored in your mind about your own self, they don't count at all. And in a storyline, you have all the saints and sages who were terrible in their early days, Valmiki himself, and they attained enlightenment. All their sinful karmas were not taken into account. This point, therefore, must enter the mind. Power of prayer, the power of japa, the power of surrender to God. Instead of turning the mind to your errors and go on counting them and asking astrologers how much you have to pay for it, for each error. Instead of doing that. Of course, that doesn't mean that your errors are justified. Turn away from that path of committing errors. Once you recognize it as an error, don't go back to it. But at the same time, don't hold on to your mind of your regret and of feeling yourself so little because of your error. Because that itself is big error. God forgives all errors. That's the word kshama. शील सकुच सुठि सरल सुभाऊ कृपा स्नेह सदन रघुराऊ. Rama is gentle, gracious, and abode of compassion. All these qualities, shil, sankoch. Shil means following the path of courteousness, righteousness. Sankoch, doing best things, but feeling completely shy, not recognizing how great things they are doing. Of course, God is the ultimate climax of all these qualities. And that those qualities are being seen in Rama. Because Rama is God's incarnation. And he is symbolic of Sagun Brahman. Brahman with qualification. Saral Swabhav. It be straightforward and in a gracious way. Not saying something and holding something else in your mind and something else in your heart. Manasa, vacha, karmana. Your mind, speech, and your action all must be in one line. That state is reached, that's called saral. Straightforward, simple. And God is simplest. He is Bambola. He is the ocean of kripa, grace, ocean of compassion, karunamaya ras. Not karunamaya ras. Karunamaya ras. He is the ocean of sweet nectar of compassion. अरिहुक अनभल कीन्हन रामा मैं शिशु सेवक यद्यपि बामा. Rama didn't do any evil, any negative punishment, even to his enemies. People go after enemy, crushing them, and then they're cursing the enemy to go to hell. Rama allows the enemy to come into surrender. If the enemy is unable to do that, Rama designs a process of sublimation. And sublimation is to making the enemy lose the negativity and come into very joyous state. A short-circuited energy acts like enemy. Rama sublimates it. Instead of being inimical to the enemy, try to understand. That point is brought out. For Rama, nobody is enemy. So ultimately, even Ravana, for whom the entire Ramayana is written, when Rama kills, light of Ravana enters Rama. So ultimately he didn't do any real evil to that Ravana. तुम पै पांच मोर भल मानी आयसु आशीष देहु सुबानी. All of you, what in the village language called panchamat. When 5 people agree, 5 leaders of the village agree to do something, the entire village follows it. It was panchamat. And that was the early stage of democracy. But coming to philosophy line, panchamat means Sat Chit Ananda plus name and form. The entire world process is constituted of these 5 factors. Sat, existence; Chit, consciousness; Ananda, bliss. These are intrinsic in every person. And you are instinctively involved in discovering Sat Chit Ananda. Everyone wants to exist, that's Sat. Everyone wants to know everything. That's instinct of Chit. Everyone wants to be happy. Nobody has any. For everything, people have different views. When it comes to happiness, nobody opposes that view. But this instinctive urge in every individual, that Satchidananda. But if this Satchidananda has become restricted by names and forms, names are confined to your concepts. Forms, say for example, you develop the idea, may I have a property, a good house, that name. Now in course of time you bought a property, and we took a picture, and you wanted to go viral, send out to everybody. That's called form, name and form. The name and form involvement drowns your Sat-Chit Ananda. But when you understand names and forms are Maya, then Satchidananda alone is the truth. So all worldly views come from prapancha, these 5 factors. So may all prapanch, all the assembly in brief, may you all allow me, permit me, bless me with this project, that we go to bring Rama and make him the king. Yahi suni binay mohim janu jani, avahi bahuri Ramura Jadhani. Having listened to my appeal and prayer, and knowing me to be his das, his slave. Slave term is a very dear term in this context. Rama will return, come to the capital city, and he will be the king. Yadyapi janamukumatusthe, मैं सटु सदा सदोष, आपन जानी न त्यागी हहीं, मोहि रघुबीर भरोष. Though I am born of a negative type of personality, mother, and myself I am dusht, wicked, full of defects. But I know and I have full faith in Rama that knowing me as his own, he will not abandon me. Apply with the same little simile. A reflected sun, no matter how it is born, no matter how many defects, when it turns its attention to the sun, it is nothing but the sun. The sun will not say, "Oh, don't look at me, get away." भरत बचन सब कहाँ विषय, प्रिय लागे, राम सनेह सुधा जनु पागे. Now, though Bharata ignored all their advice, none was hurt by what Bharata said. In other words, they didn't say, "Oh, we are commanding you. You should not say anything more than that. Just keep your mouth shut." But not so. All people were so joyous instead of reacting. Because Bharata already brought out what was within their heart, which they were not strong enough to bring it out. Now when they heard Bharata's words, they were like nectar of love. All of them were experiencing a fiery sense of torture, as if they had been poisoned, as if they have taken some venom that causes a lot of burning sensation. And that is because of being separated from Rama. Separation from Rama has been described that way. But Bharata's advice was just like Sabija mantra becomes awakened. Mantra Sabij sunat janu jage. And in this context, the role of mantra has been pointed out. In the beginning, your mantra is more verbal, and it seems to do little things, not big things. And sometimes it seems it does nothing at all. But of course, sages tell you that even when mantra is recited in a mechanical way, it has its purpose. It goes just like medicines you take in mechanical way without having any respect for the doctor, not for the medicine. Still, medicine has its purpose. The mantra has its purpose. But when you begin to go into awakening the mantra chaitanya by special meditation and intense bhavana behind it, in brief, if you are practicing integral yoga under good guidance, and your mantra is constantly awakening good feeling and a sense of divine touch, now the mantra awakens in you a special type of strength, what I call Shakti. Same challenges, same objects that you desire. Now when you have Shakti behind in your personality, firstly you will not be desiring things that will degrade you. That happens only because you are lacking internal strength. And if you are facing challenging situations, Shakti will not make you turn into despair, nil desperandum. When that is happening, and then next point, it is leading you to bhakti, increasing devotion. When mantra becomes active in this process, that's called mantra chaitanya has been awakened. So when you hear the glory of mantra from personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, he's talking about mantra chaitanya. No matter what problems came, his mind found all its answer by simple name, Ram, Ram. And that applies to all Ishta mantras. Matu Sachiva Guru Pura Naranari Sakala Saneha Bikala Bhaya Bhari. Now, immense love was awakened in all people, mother, minister, guru, all the people of the palace and all the people of Ayodhya, all who were present in the assembly. And they were all filled with love. Love for Bharata, that he will bring Rama. All souls become thrilled at the presence of bhakti. That's in a broad way to understand. Because once bhakti has joined in, mukti or liberation is, there's no question about it. So all souls, that's the deep-rooted heart level of aspiration in every personality. So anyone who gives advice that will lead the soul to Rama, anyone who gives advice that will allow your heart to develop bhakti, that advice is the greatest remedy for any problem you are facing. And with this I will conclude. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Akashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Tat Sat.